I've been through a lot. I've been through some pains. Left alone, but never gave up. I wanna share with the world, 'cause this is my story. I wanna tell it to the world, for this is my pain. This is my scar. Oh, this is my scar.
Hi, I am Ruth Kuria. I am a mother of 3 young adults and I am in business. I'm glad to be here with you today. I'm an interesting Bontao and well, I've been brought up in Umoja Estate and a bit of Thika. Went to school in Nairobi, went to college in Tuk. Back then it was called Kenya Polytechnic. Studied graphics reproduction. Worked in industrial area, and later I ventured into business. And when I was in college, my 4th year, I met this handsome guy, and the rest was history, as they say. I got married to him and got these 3 young adults. Importantly, what I need to say is that I am born again. I met Christ a while ago, and it has been a journey, and a very interesting journey. I think the most interesting part of that journey about my salvation is a while in 2007, I got sickly, and I told my husband, Kuria, that I'm feeling unwell. And he was like, he thought it's just something normal. So he suggested, because he was busy that day, he was at work, he suggested that just go get checked what your problem is. And I went to hospital. And when I went to hospital, I was so mad. I was so mad because I had to report to him. And he's this type of a husband who needed information immediately. So yes, he's driving, but you got to give him his information. So I was like, nimemaliza hosi. He says, ningoje kwa barabara, I need to see you. So I was like, fine, I'll see you. And I'm telling him, nimepimwa, shidako ni nini? Then I tell him, I'm paged. He's looking at me like, what? Okay. Oh, fine. So we are expecting our 4th baby. It had a very big gap. My baby was that time, I think 10, the last born, and now this one is coming. We went ahead, and the pregnancy went well initially, but it had when I went to the hospital, I got treated for some problem, and the treatment, I think it was rather harsh. I don't know, but that's what I always think. And well, towards the 8th month of the pregnancy, which was now March, the baby was supposed to be delivered towards the end of March. A certain Saturday, I feel very unwell and very uncomfortable. And I am in the house, and my husband has to go to work. I'm left with the firstborn and the lastborn. They're the ones taking care of me. In our setup, we hardly had house managers in our house, so we'd always manage ourselves. So they were given instructions of how to take care of me by their daddy, because I had told him that on Saturday I was unwell. So this Sunday, the pregnancy was actually quite interesting, because I remember, let me take you back before that Sunday. We were talking with Kush every time, surprisingly enough, when he came, he would always come home late. When he came home, the baby would start having his movements, and I'm like, Kush, now sasa basi ongea na mtoto wako. So he would talk, they would communicate until the baby would calm down and I would be able to rest well. Then we even talked about the naming of this baby. We talked about the gender. Gone are those times when we never checked. Nowadays, you people check. We never used to check that time. We wouldn't have known. We didn't want to know. That same week, I had gone and gotten checked, and what was remaining was actually my husband was needed to go to the hospital that time to also get checked. That's the time they were starting to call couples together. So he did not have time, so I was supposed to take him the following week. So they said the baby was okay. And now this Saturday, the pain started. And then now Sunday morning, the pains went on increasing. So when I have sent my children out to go and get me this baby clothes, the pains went on, and they were so bad. They were so bad. God in his own way, I have delivered all my babies normal, even this one who will be born. But I've never felt pain. I only feel pain for less than 45 minutes. And it's not pain, it's just a discomfort, and then the baby is born. But this one, I really felt pain. I felt pain throughout the whole body. So by the time they're coming back, I told my firstborn son, Jeff, Siski Poa, I need to be addressed. He calls the dad. The dad says, let me send you the number to the taxi driver who drops me home to pick your mom and take her to the maternity. We are living in Githurai. The maternity, I used to go to Jama, which is in Uhuru Estate in the Eastlands area. So you can imagine the distance. That is the time Thika Road has jammed like you cannot even imagine. It was being reconstructed to the current new highway. So it was quite a mess. So my son takes me, leaves the younger one, the baby, alone in the house, and is taking me to hospital. So by the time my son is taking me to hospital, I'm having serious pain. Serious pain. I don't know what happened. By the time we are approaching Karioko, my kush talks to the driver who is driving us and tells him, Mpeleke Pumwani. I've never gone to Pumwani, so I'm delivered. That man takes me to Pumwani. By the time we are hitting the first bump, the second bump to get to Pumwani from Karioko, the baby is born. The baby is born, and I'm with my firstborn son. I only thank God that he's a nurse, he understands. So we are at that receiving bay, and the medical personnel receiving me. Anyway, I thank God for them. It was, I don't want to say what it was, but it was something else I have never experienced. But they are like, Mama, this baby is dead. And my son had. So he jumped to the other end of the bay. He couldn't take it. And he has to process me in terms of admission and everything. And he eventually comes down and has to call the dad and say that, Daddy, thank God you have the three of us. I've lost my brother. So it was not a good time. But Kush, my husband, my late husband, was a very loving guy, very, very warm. And I think by virtue of not being well taken care of by his dad, he really did his part as a father and as a husband. And now this day, after I had recuperated and he had to resume back to work, I have always taken him to the gate. He would always leave the house before, like 5 minutes to 5, to be able to get hold of the keys and the minibus so that he starts it at around 6. So he'd always leave the house very early. So he had already, actually, anytime I have delivered babies, he took care of me and not the other way around. So I wouldn't wake up to fix his breakfast and everything. He would do everything. And he even had packed some takeaway for me so that when I get to work, because he'd already taken me back to work because he didn't want me in the house. It was really traumatizing after the death of the baby. He preferred me being at work. I have a shop, so he would prepare for me so that I go to work. He said something I did not understand. I used to call him Kush, he used to call me Shiro. So he would always say, Shiro, mbona ulikuwa unataka kuniwacha? Shiro, mbona ulikuwa unataka kuniwacha? So he said that day 1 when he drove the minibus, day 2 when he drove the minibus, and day 3. And I asked him that morning, nilikuwa nataka kukuacha kuenda wapi? I've been with you 20 years, I've never left your house, no matter how hard a time would have with you. So and then I felt, you know what, we hardly used to argue in the morning or to have drama in the morning because he was a driver, so I would let him just go. So he leaves, he goes to work. In fact, when he got to work, he called me and told me nimefika niko poa, and he started his vehicle and went on. So I prepared myself and went to my shop. At my shop, around 11:45, I receive a call from his colleague, and he's telling me, Wakush, they would call me Wakush, and I'm asking him, talk to me, why have you called? 11 a.m. And he tells me, Ukwaje? And then I asked him, you and I don't talk like this. What do you want to tell me? Then he disconnected the call. He then calls me a few minutes right after, and I felt my body wasn't normal. I felt completely different, something I can't explain. And my son had just come to see me, and then I had released him to go back. Remember, he's an ex-candidate, so he has got so much time on him, and the daddy had instructed him to keep checking up on me. So he had checked on me and was almost going back home. So I had to call him and tell him, Jeff Eburudi. He called me 3 times, and I told him to stop playing games and tell me exactly what is happening. So when he told me what is happening, I asked him where Kush is. He was also very confused. I will say this because we know it's those ones who deliver babies. The bleeding has just stopped like 2-3 days ago, and I'm thinking that I'm a bit normal, and then you have very sudden news. So it really affects the body of a young mother, an early mother. So he's at Kuruna, so I had to go. I meet my firstborn son and Kush's sister, and we rush to find him treated and discharged. And my state of mind, I pick my husband and go home with him, which he wasn't supposed to go home. The following day, his colleagues, he never used to share his stories about his personal stories with his colleagues, but he shared with one friend. So one friend had known that I had just lost a baby. So him and some other 3 guys came to see my husband. He was immobilized to a point where he wouldn't have gone to the table room, so he was in the room, in my bedroom. And they were with him better part of the day, and my husband's siblings, my in-laws, they were with him, they were with us. And towards the evening, one of them is a business person, so they decided, let me go close shop, and then I come, and then we can go on taking care of Kush. So the minute they left, everyone left, the colleagues thought that this lady is not in a state to take care of her husband. So they decided, we are going to get a vehicle, we take him for a second opinion. So by the time they left to go and get a vehicle to come and take him for a second opinion, my in-laws also had felt that Kush alikuwa anasema kuna mahali anaumwa, so they wanted some ointment. So they went and bought the ointment. So by the time they are coming back to bring the ointment, I remember there were some other guests who had come to the table room, and I felt that this guy has seen so many visitors and he was unwell. So me and my son, we felt we can't have them come to talk to him in the room. So we kept them there. And I had a loud shout from the room. So me and Jeff, my firstborn, we ran. Jeff holds the daddy at the back, and I'm at the front, and it's like he's choking, and I take my finger to help him. I thought I was helping him. In fact, he actually bathed me. So by the time my in-laws are coming to bring this ointment, my sister-in-law tells me, he's your husband. Just, he had thrown up that time when he was, when he had that loud shout. She says, change your husband. So I'm changing my husband's pajama. And I'm wondering, why is he not moving? So I'm like, Kush. So what one of my brother-in-laws says, he sends away my son. So it's just the grown-ups in the room. So, Kush, kwa nini uongei? Then we decide we can't even wait for the matatu guys to bring the vehicle they want to come and take Kush to hospital with. We can mobilize. So my brother-in-law asked Jeff, my firstborn, to mobilize the same man who took me to hospital when my baby died. So he's the one who came and brought us to hospital. So by the time we reach hospital, when you hear the doctors asking, where is the spouse of this one? You already almost know what they are about to pronounce. And that's when we were given the news that he has already passed on. Yeah. I got this very close friend who is like a relative to me. He's coming and telling me that, let's pray. And I'm wondering, whom should I pray to? This God who's taken a baby 21 days ago and now he's taken my Kush. How do I even pray? Why do I even pray? Like, what do I even need to do with this God? Honestly, I mean, like, does he not understand that mimi nakuanga nimemwamini? Like, why are we here? But all through, maybe to some degree, after I don't have that right state of mind, I get to a point where I have to reconsider and remember that I've got my 3 sons, my 3 great sons, and I have to take care of them. One thing that I would want to mention is that there are widows and there are 2 types of widows, and I need the whole world to know. I wish it would. There is a widow who trusts in God. That is a dangerous widow, because the Bible is saying, dare you even touch their boundary, God himself will come and avenge. There is also another widow who wants to take advantage of other people's lifestyles, marriages and all that. So it is important that in widowhood, and I'm talking about men who have lost their spouses and ladies who have lost their spouses, it is important that in widowhood we stick to what the word of God tells us. That way, any door will open. I know that you can get to acute sorrow, acute anguish, and he will come and deliver you. He has told us he's gonna uphold us with his righteous hand. Indeed, it is true. It's not a joke. I think in the book of Malachi, he tells us, try me and see if I'm not gonna fill your barns to overflowing. This is who this God is. He has done it. As I talk, I am just glad. When I look back, I just love it all.
I've been through a lot. I've been through some pains. Left alone, but never gave up. I wanna share with the world, 'cause this is my story. I wanna tell it to the world.